In the sleepy village of Willow Creek, nestled between rolling hills and a rushing river, lived a scruffy border collie named Max. He belonged to little Emma, a girl with wild curls and a laugh that could chase away storm clouds. Max wasn't the biggest dog in the village, far from it. His fur was a patchwork of black and white, one ear flopped over, and he had a habit of chasing his own tail when he got excited. But what Max lacked in size, he made up for in heart. Every day, Max and Emma would wander the woods behind their cottage, collecting pine cones and skipping stones in the creek. Max was Emma's shadow, always alert, always ready to nudge her away from a muddy puddle or bark at a squirrel that got too close. The villagers loved Max, but they didn't think much of him beyond his playful antics. "He's a good dog," they'd say, patting his head, but not exactly a hero. One crisp autumn evening, everything changed. Emma's father, a woodcutter, had gone deeper into the forest than usual to gather firewood before the first frost. Emma, restless and curious, slipped out of the cottage to find him, her red coat a bright speck against the darkening trees. Max, sensing her mischief, followed close behind, his nose twitching at the scent of damp leaves and something off. The sun dipped low, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple. Emma called for her father, her voice echoing through the trees, but there was no answer. She ventured farther, past the old oak and the mossy boulder, until the path vanished under a tangle of roots. That's when she heard it, a low, guttural growl from the shadows. A wolf. It was lean and hungry, its yellow eyes glinting in the twilight. It had been driven down from the mountains by a harsh winter, and it saw Emma as easy prey. She froze, her breath catching as the wolf stepped closer, its paws silent on the forest floor. Max didn't hesitate. He darted between Emma and the wolf, his small body puffed up as large as he could make it. His bark was sharp and fierce, a sound that seemed to come from somewhere deeper than his scruffy frame. The wolf snarled, baring its teeth, but Max held his ground. He snapped at its legs, dodging its lunging bites with a speed that surprised even him. Emma, trembling, backed away, shouting for her father. The wolf was bigger, stronger, but Max was relentless. He nipped at its heels, darted under its jaws, and barked until his throat burned. The forest seemed to hold its breath. Then, from the distance, came the crack of a branch and a shout. Emma's father, axe in hand, running toward them. The wolf, startled by the noise and Max's unyielding courage, hesitated just long enough. Max seized the moment, lunging at the wolf's flank with a fearless yelp. The wolf yelped back, more startled than hurt, and bolted into the underbrush, its tail tucked between its legs. Emma's father arrived, scooping her into his arms, and saw Max standing tall, panting but unbroken, his eyes still locked on the shadows where the wolf had fled. Word of Max's bravery spread through Willow Creek like wildfire. The villagers, who had once seen him as just a playful pup, now called him a hero. They brought him bones and scratched his ears, marveling at the dog who'd faced down a wolf to save Emma. But Max didn't care for the praise. That night, he curled up at the foot of Emma's bed, his floppy ear twitching as she whispered, "You're my brave dog, Max." And in Willow Creek, under the watchful stars, Max dreamed of pine cones, skipping stones, and the girl he'd always protect, no matter how big the danger.